And welcome, Shabbat Shalom. It's a blessing to be once again with all of you, sharing a new portion of this cycle in the book of Ezekiel, a new portion of the word of YaHuWaH. And we really hoped in Elohim that you have been enjoying your Shabbat, having a wonderful day. And we are going to enjoy together this just small portion of Shabbat by reading and studying the word of Yah. And this is the best thing we can do. You know, the two of us, we already have some physical food some time ago. Now it's time to have some spiritual food. And we really hope that Yah is going to open our minds, our understanding to this portion. It's not an easy one. Actually, I would say that we will need an architect to help us out on understanding this portion. But you know, YaHuWaH is always bringing some insight, some wisdom in a wonderful way, I have to say. You know, every time that we are here in front of the camera and sharing with you, he's always beside us and sharing what he wants to share. So we pray, please. This is not going to be the exception, and that he's going to speak to us today. So as I said, welcome, and I see so far 10 of you connected, and we hope that more the brothers and sisters are going to join. And I see many of you in the chat interacting, and that's a wonderful thing of this platform, that even though that we are in different places of this world, even though that sometimes we have different languages, we are able to connect each other, having this heart, you know, beating all the time with the presence of the Ruach of Elohim and with the love of YaHuWaH inside of us, that even though that we are in different places, different countries, different states, in different locations of this earth, we are all together, joined together in one body, the body of Mashiach, by his love and by the Ruach HaKodesh. Amen?
Amen. Yeah, and that's so true, because you were saying even with different languages, and sometimes is even with the same language, if we don't have the right spirit, the right connection with our source, with our Abba, maybe we are going to be like having some noise between us. So it's so important that we are there with our Abba, and he's going to pour over us his love, and he's going to make us echad. That is the most important thing. So
absolutely. And just saw the comment from Karen, and she's going to help us, but even for her it's difficult to picture. You know, we have some visuals. You know, we found some visuals, and we will share with you. Maybe it's a kind of I don't know. I'm not so sure if exactly what it is written, but at least it's helping us to understand and to have some kind of idea of what we are reading in this portion. So little by little, I see more of you joining. I see Mom is late. It's not good, but that she's here. So, as you saw in the title, today we are going to study chapter 40 and chapter 41 of the book of Ezekiel. And actually now we go to this place of this amazing book of the Navi, the prophet YaHuWaH Ezekiel, when he began receiving these amazing visions of Elohim. Actually, you know, the entire book, he's receiving visions from Elohim from the very beginning. Amazing visions as well, but in this time, he's receiving visions from the future again, but specifically about the temple. And that's why we have decided to title this portion, The Most Set Apart Place. So it's chapter 40 and chapter 41. And as I said, you know, in this last portion of the book, as we will see in the upcoming weeks, he's receiving all this revelation about the temple, the different places of the temple, and we're just getting started with chapter 40. But this is getting to the end, even how the land is going to be portioned in a different way compared to how it was portioned in the past. And, you know, many things that we are going to see, and I do believe in my heart that this is so connected to the times that are coming during the millennial kingdom of Yahushua here on earth. But I would say that also after the millennial kingdom, And this is an open question for me, and we're going to review some of those things throughout this portion today. And we need to be open to any interpretation and any understanding. And we need to, as we have been always talking every time here, is that we need to have a teachable heart. If we have some understanding today, we always need to be open for YaHuWaH to reveal more truth, because He is the owner of the truth, not us. And if He's revealing some truth in one moment, that doesn't mean He's revealing the entire truth in that specific moment. Maybe later in our life, He's going to reveal more truth, and that's why we should not be wise in our own eyes, because, we have no ownership on the interpretation of the word. It's only Him who is revealing the interpretation, and He is giving wisdom little by little. And we know that the moment that we are going to be able to receive the entire understanding and the entire wisdom of His truth is going to be the moment when Yahushua is here, and He is going to be the one opening our eyes and our ears to the entire truth and the entire picture, in the same way that He did it with His disciples in His first coming. Even though at that time He was not revealing everything.
Yeah.
He's going to complete the revelation
Yeah.
at the moment of His second coming.
Yeah, everything on His own timing. So, and if sometimes we don't understand something, it's because it's sealed at that moment. So we have to be patient. The times of our Father are different from our times, but He knows when is the perfect moment. Yeah.
Absolutely. So having said that, I think we will move forward straight to the portion. But as you know, we always have some song to begin with. So let me share this song with all of you, and then we will move on. So here we go.
לדור ודור הודיע אמונתך בפי, אמונתך בפי. יסדתם צפון וימין אתה ורעתה תבוא וחרמון בשמחה ירננו ירננו
Let's pray.
Okay.
YaHuWaH Elohim Sebaot, in this moment we come to you with a humble heart and with the desire within us to seek your face and to find you, YaHuWaH. Because it's only in you and we are beside you and close to you is when we have fullness of life. It's in the place we want to live, YaHuWaH. It's next to you, next to your presence, next to your glory. Thank you, YaHuWaH, because in this Shabbat, in this set apart day, the day you have established from the very beginning, and the day you have established as a sign between you and your people Israel, we have the opportunity and also the spirit and the heart to get closer and even closer to you. And this is what we pray to you in this moment. That in the same way that we are seeking to get closer to you, we ask you, YaHuWaH, that you can get closer to us. That your Ruach HaKodesh can dwell in this temple that you have prepared and you have built and created, that is our body. That we can have plenty and fullness of your Ruach dwelling in us. So we can say that your spirit is in us. We invite you, YaHuWaH, in this moment, that your presence can be with us in this gathering, that no matter the distance, no matter where we are in this earth, that we can be united, be echad in you through your Ruach, O Elohim. We thank you, Abba, because the only reason that we are alive is because that's the desire of your heart, because life belongs to you. Our lives belongs to you. And the only reason that we are here, keeping your commandments, keeping your Shabbat, studying your word, keeping your covenant, and following the step of Yahushua HaMashiach, is because of your love, your compassion, and your desire toward us. It's because you took our hands and you opened our eyes and our ears to your understanding, and you were the one, YaHuWaH, giving us life and light so we can see you, so we can understand your truth and see that narrow path that is leading us to your kingdom and to everlasting life. Thank you, YaHuWaH, because of that love and compassion, because only due to that love and that compassion is that we are here. And we ask you, YaHuWaH, that you can increase our faith, our emunah, that you can establish our steps, so we can always look to the front, seeing Mashiach, Yahushua, leading us on this way, so we can continue walking straight forward in this path, not deviating to the right or to the left, nor falling from that grace and favor you have poured down upon us. To the contrary, YaHuWaH, that we can have that shalom and joy in our heart all the time, by remembering you and remembered everything you have done for your people Israel throughout history, and for everything you have done for us and for this generation of your people. We want to become as you are, YaHuWaH. And we want to give our lives to you, allowing you, YaHuWaH, to manifest in our lives the desire and the purposes you have in your heart for each one of us. Because every time that we push forward, trying to do our own desire and our own purposes without understanding and allowing you to do it, we fail. And that's why in this moment of YaHuWaH Sebaot, as Yahushua taught us and is teaching us day after day, we want to deny ourselves And by doing so, allowing you to rule our lives, allowing you, YaHuWaH, to fulfill your plans and your purposes that you have from the very beginning of this world in your heart for us. Because we know that if we allow you to do so, the only thing that we have to expect is blessings after blessings and love after love, because you are doing what you want to do in our lives. That's our heart and that's our spirit, the heart and the spirit of a servant, the heart and the spirit of a faithful son and daughter, allowing you, our Abba, our Father, to build us and to make us grow in your own image and likeness that we know is your Son YaHuWaH, because YaHuWaH and you are one, and we want to be one with you through Him. In this moment, YaHuWaH, we ask you that you can open our understanding to this portion. We ask you, YaHuWaH, that you can allow your Ruach HaKodesh to speak to us and through us, so we can receive what you have prepared for each one of us today. I ask you, YaHuWaH, for your children that are going through difficulties, that you can extend your hand, leading them on how to solve the situations and how to endure any trial and test that they are going through. That you can extend your hand to YaHuWaH to heal the sick, to restore the hearts, to restore the bodies, to provide physical healing, YaHuWaH, but most importantly, to provide spiritual healing to the hearts, to the spirit, restoring, YaHuWaH, the emotions, removing any traumas, removing any shame and any knots, spiritual knots and spiritual chains that are trapping your children in this generation. And in this moment, YaHuWaH, with the authority that we have received by your Son Yahushua HaMashiach, we command any spirit of infirmity and disease and sickness that is impacting the nephew of joy, we command you to get out and to be out of the body of the nephew of joy. You have no authority in the name of Yahushua to impact the bodies that are belonging to YaHuWaH. And we command in this moment, with the power of the Ruach of Elohim, that any disease, any virus, any spirit that is impacting the body of this nephew of joy, to get out, and that the body is being restored to fullness of healthy, and little by little, that restoration is being manifested. In the name of Yahushua, we command this to happen. Amen. We thank you, YaHuWaH, because we know that you are with us. And we want to tell you that we love you with all our hearts, and we trust in you, and we wait on you always. Thank you, Abba, for your presence and your love. We worship you and we praise your name. And we do it, YaHuWaH, lifting up our voices in prayers to you, doing it in the mighty name of your Son Yahushua, your Messiah, our King and Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Oof, I'm sweating.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Okay.
So let me change this screen.
Mhm.
And I think I will need to go for water.
I'm going to go for
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so let me put this is in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 40. And here we are. Yes, it is. So just let's wait for Lillian that she's coming, and we are going to begin. So I see 25 of you already connected. That's a blessing from YaHuWaH that we're all together. This is usually the number we are being gathered every Shabbat. So it looks like that we have the entire family. So she's coming, so let's wait for her. Gracias.
Okay.
Okay, so let's begin. So it says the following. In the 25th year of our exile at Rosh Hashanah, on the 10th of the month, in the 14th year after the city was stricken, on the same day, the hand of YaHuWaH came upon me, and he brought me there. In visions of Elohim, he brought me into the land of Israel, and set me on a very high mountain, and upon it, toward the south, was as the structure of a city. So he brought me there, and look, a man whose appearance was like the appearance of bronze, and a line of flax, and a measuring rod in his hand. And he stood in the gateway. And the man said to me, Son of man, see with your eyes and hear with your ears, and set your heart on all that I am showing you, for you were brought here in order to show them to you. Declare to the house of Israel all that you are seeing. So let's keep it till there,
Wow.
because then we are going to move ahead with all the measurements.
Yeah.
And I think we can comment something here.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I think you have something to say.
Yeah, some little things. Well, at the beginning, when the first time that we were reading this, I was thinking about the Rosh Hashanah. Usually, that term like is being used by the people from the Jew side and everything, and I was thinking about maybe Sukkot, because it said the 10th of that month, but no, Sukkot. Sorry, from Yom HaKippurim. But then when I was reading again and I was looking into the translation, and the correct instruction from YaHuWaH is from the beginning of the year. And the beginning of the year, we know that is in the first month. So that should be the Rosh Hashanah always. And then in the 10th day, I could find that only one scripture, that was the instruction that was given to Moshe. And it was when he was to take and give the instruction to the families of Israel that they have to choose a lamb.
You want me to go there?
Yeah. And that is in Shemot 12.
Exodus.
Yeah, Shemot Exodus 12, number 3. And it says, Speak to all congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th day of this new moon, or this month, each one of them is to take for himself a lamb, according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And then, in my head, I was thinking about how is the introduction that you were reading in Ezekiel, that he was taken. He was taken, and he was taken by the Spirit, by the Ruach. He was brought to that place in visions. And he's also always being called Son of Man. So I was thinking about even YaHuWaH. Because YaHuWaH, we know that he was even during that month, before his crucifixion, he was set apart. It was a moment that we know that he was representing somehow that sacrifice. And I was thinking that, and then I was thinking also, well, usually everything that was instructed to YaHuWaH, to the prophet, and everything is also being instructed to us, is an instruction to us. So maybe, and I was thinking about this recently, that maybe also this instruction is that we at one moment in our life, we were taken by YaHuWaH, and he was opening and showing us what he is going to show us, his temple, his hell, how it's working. And we know, and you were saying that in your prayer, that our body is his temple. So he's going to help us to understand how this body was created, what is the intention, and also in a broader aspect, we are going to understand about his people Israel and how we are being part of that. All of that.
Good. So as we can see here, the translation in Hebrew, the literal translation, what is called Rosh Hashanah, is basically the head of the year.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I was wondering is that could it be that the head of the year, is the beginning of the year, and I think you properly said is in the first month, even though that, Jewish traditions, they believe that it's in the 7th month, but this is not according to the scripture. But I was wondering if this could be related to the head of the years when we're talking about the Shemitah cycle or the Jubilee cycle. And could be, I don't know. Because, the revelation of the temple, and we think also, and we will go to the book of Revelation in a minute as well. Is connected to the revelation of his New Jerusalem. And looking into, the descriptions of this temple and actually listening to people that had been doing more in-depth studies about the previous temples, they believe that this the description and the measurements of the temple of Ezekiel are not related at all to the previous temple. It's a new temple. It's a temple that has not been built, and I think there are two train of thoughts on this. Some believes that this is going to be the temple of the third temple that is going to be built. I don't think that's going to be the situation. There is other train of thoughts that they believe that this is going to be during the millennial kingdom, or even it could be after the millennial kingdom. The reality is that in my case, I don't know what to believe. What I do believe is that there may be a third temple, though I'm doubting that it's going to be the situation. The third temple maybe is going to be built by the anti-Mashiach. And though, as I said, I'm tending to believe that maybe it's not necessary to everything that is being prophesied for the end times with the anti-Mashiach, I mean that period of time to happen. What I do believe is that Mashiach, YaHuWaH, is going to build a temple. And we are going to participate during that construction in the same way that we see the patterns from the past. The house of Yehuda coming back from exiled after the 70 years of the prophecy of Jeremiah, and they came with the authority and the support of YaHuWaH to rebuild the temple. So there we have a pattern of maybe what's going to happen during the millennial kingdom, being led by YaHuWaH himself. And there are other passages in the book of Zechariah that somehow is allowing us to have this interpretation that maybe YaHuWaH is going to build a temple. And also we have the pattern of David, and Shlomo, that somehow they are a foreshadow of Mashiach as well. So it could be that maybe the temple that we are reading here, or we are going to read in a minute, is the one that is going to be built by YaHuWaH, or maybe it's going to be the New Jerusalem. We'll see. So in that context, maybe it's the head of the years, considering that maybe it's the Jubilee, maybe it's the period of 7 years of the release. You know, one additional things that are for me is interesting when I see these passages, and as I said when we began this live stream, it's so beautiful to see how YaHuWaH was using Ezekiel in a so mighty way with the manifestation of his Ruach. You know, we have been studying in all the portions, the previous portions, how he was being led in visions of Elohim, to see even in the chapter 1 and chapter 2, if you remember the Merkabah, these chariots of Elohim with the cherubim and the Ophanim. He was so blessed and so prepared somehow to be used in that mighty way by the Ruach of Elohim, to have his spiritual eyes fully open, to see everything that YaHuWaH wants him to see. And I do believe that all those experiences are totally alive in this generation. And we should wondering why we don't see too much of this in these times. Because YaHuWaH doesn't change. He's the same always. So the only ones that have changed is us. Maybe we are so attached and connected to the physical world that we live in our day-to-day activities that we have lost this ability that had been built in ourselves in order to be used in that mighty way in the manifestation of the Ruach of Elohim in the spiritual realm. And I think this is exactly what's happening. You know, little by little, when we see the world that we are living in these days, everything that's doing is to push humankind to be attached, completely attached to the physical, you know, to the senses, to, you know, everything that we can touch and see with our eyes, everything that we can hear, even though that the YaHuWaH, in the way that he created us, you know, the senses are part of the experiences as well that are coming from the spiritual being manifested in the physical. But you know, the system of the beast and the system of the world has been trapping throughout years, especially in the last few decades, the entire humanity in order to forget what it means, what it really means to be a human. And unfortunately, you know, most of the people, and sometimes that's include each one of us, you and us, we are forgetting what it really means to be a human, what it really means to be a children of Elohim, a creature that was created by YaHuWaH Sebaot. And by forgetting who we really are, we forget that, as I said a minute ago, we have been built with a built-in capacity to be used by the Spirit of Elohim through our own spirit that YaHuWaH has been breathed in each one of us. So I think it should be in our hearts to ask YaHuWaH to awaken that capacity in each one of us, to be used in the same way that he was using Ezekiel in the visions of Elohim, that in such a wonderful way that even though that he was in a different place on this world, by visions, he was brought to a totally different place. And we have many other examples in the scriptures. You know, especially, you know, in these times that we are surrounded by so many darkness. That's exactly what the earth is crying out for, the manifestation of the children of Elohim. The children of Elohim that are like the wind, like the Ruach, that nobody knows where they are coming from and where they are going. Because they are moving like the wind, like the Ruach, being led by the Ruach of Elohim, being connected to the spiritual network that YaHuWaH has created in this world. So, even expanding on what I said, what is written in the verse 4, what this man that Ezekiel encountered in this vision in the land of Israel told him is so important. And this is a message for each one of us, because it says, Son of man, see with your eyes and hear with your ears. And not only that, he said, set your heart on all that I am showing you. So first, he's in vision, he's in the spirit. And in the spirit, this man is telling, Son of man, hear, see. We need to hear with the spirit. We need to see with the spirit. And the only one he can do that is Yahushua, the baptizer, in the spirit. We need to ask him to open our eyes, to open our ears, but also there is something so important that is in the second phrase, that is up to us to set our hearts. If we are not setting our hearts in what we are seeking, if we are not setting our heart in what we are going to receive from him, it's useless. How I can say that it's useless, the revelation of YaHuWaH? No, the revelation is not useless. We as instruments are useless, because we are not setting our heart in what YaHuWaH wants to do with us. And in this case, particular case, is saying, set your heart on all that I'm showing you. In a second interpretation, we can say is that we need to be in the present moment. We need to set our heart, we need to be there. We cannot have our minds and our spirit in somewhere else. I don't have my mobile phone here to show you, but imagine that I have my mobile phone here. When we are with our mobile phones in our hands, looking into a YouTube videos, maybe some of you are looking into this one, but it's a good content.
This is
so it's a good one. Or maybe we are with text messages, or maybe with a social network, or the instant messages tool. What's going on is that we are not in the present place. Our spirits and our minds are on the air, or maybe in a different place. That's the real pandemic we're facing in this generation, especially the youngest one. But it's impacting all of us, that we are not that young already. Even, can you imagine that it's impacting us, that maybe we didn't grow up with these devices, but even it's trapping us, that we are not setting our heart on what we are doing and with the people that is around us in that place. When we see the message here, it's showing us, it's a kind of a secret, if I can say so, when we want to be used by YaHuWaH in the manifestation of his power, his signs and wonders, and be used by the Ruach of Elohim, we need to be there. We need to be present with all our minds, with all our heart, setting in what YaHuWaH wants to do with us, with the surroundings, physical and spiritual surroundings, in the places where we are. If our minds and our hearts are in different places, it's going to be very difficult to be used as a real instrument in the heart, in the hands of YaHuWaH. And why we need to do that? The secret and the answer is already here. Because he has chosen you and me, you and us, in order to show them who is to reveal. Again, we are an instrument, a guitar. He's taking the guitar that we are, he's picking the strings and producing music. Who is going to receive the music? The instrument? No. The instrument is going to resound. Who is going to hear that music is the people around. So we are being used with the purpose of bringing the message and the revelation of the truth of YaHuWaH to the people around us. So if we are not in the present moment, if we are not setting our hearts, if we are not seeking to open our eyes and open our ears, we are not going to be a good instrument.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? So, last thing,
The line flags in the measuring rod? No?
you can mention that.
Okay.
Yeah. I discern that you have something to share about that, so you can do it. No, here, he was brought in the visions to a very high mountain, and this is something to remember, because we will see something very similar in another place. And he was looking into the south, and he saw a city, the structure of a city. So, interesting, the way he's doing. What was that mountain? I don't know.
But I don't know why. I remember when Yahushua was being taken to be tried. And he
It was a
taken,
similar way.
Yeah, similar way.
Yeah. Go ahead. You have something to share about the line of flags.
No, about the line of flags and a measuring rod in his hand. And he gave only the later we are going to know about how was the measure of that road. It doesn't say anything specifically about the line of flags, but having two different measurement how do you say?
Measurement.
Yeah, measurement instruments.
Measuring instrument.
Or measuring instrument. One that is flexible, because that is a line of flax. It's like a thread of linen. Somehow it's a piece of cord, something like that. So usually you use that. And I remember when we were building at the beginning, when we were even imagining the place that we are building in the south, I always remember that we were using something similar. And we were putting it down in the land, so we can have an image how is going to be the length and everything. And when he's speaking about the measuring rod, we know that that is something that is rigid, that is different. So I was thinking about two kind of measuring instrument for different purposes, and somehow where you're going to use the rod, somehow to measure heights, something that is completely how do you say recto, right,
Plumb.
or in plumb, so it doesn't have any curve at all. But you use the line when you have something that is round, maybe when it has a shape, a different shape. So you need that. So I was thinking about that is like how our Ava is going to measure us even. So it's going to depend on what we are going to become at one point, what we are going to be. He is going to have a flexible line around us. He's going to have a road to do it. What are the purposes? How we are going to interact with those. So it was
A plumber line.
Yeah.
Plumb.
yeah. Thank
Good.
you.
So let's move on. And I saw a question from Tracia. Yes, we are the house of Israel. So everything that is written here from Ezekiel is being declared to each one of us. So, and I would say this not only for the northern house. I think in this particular case, the house of Israel, he's talking about maybe it's the already 12 tribes. Because when they are being united in the hand of Yahushua, as we saw and we study on the chapter 37 of this book, they are going to become one, not two nations anymore, only one nation. So no house of Yehuda, not the house of Israel, is going to be only one house, the house of Israel, having the 12 tribes all together, being ruled and governed by Yahushua, the Mashiach, the King of Kings, and Adon Hadonim. So it says in the verse 5, and look, a wall all around the outside of the house, and in the man's hand a measuring rod 6 cubits long, each being a cubit and a handbreadth. And he measured the width of the wall structure 1 rod, and the height 1 rod. Was a massive
Yeah.
wall. Massive wall. Then he came to the gate facing east, and he went up its stairs and measured the threshold of the gate 1 rod wide, and the other threshold 1 rod wide also.
Yeah.
Very broad. Okay? And he's going into the east gate, and we know the relevance of the east gate, and we will see the relevance even in the coming chapters in the same book. And the little room 1 rod long and 1 rod wide, and between the little rooms a space of 5 cubits, and the threshold of the gate inwards from the porch of the gate was 1 rod. Then he measured the porch of the inside gate 1 rod, and he measured the porch of the gate 8 cubits, and its posts 2 cubits, and the porch of the gate was on the inside. And the little rooms of the east gate, 3 on one side and 3 on the other side, all 3 of the same size. And posts were of the same size on this side and that side. Why do you think they are having rooms on the gate?
Well, at the beginning, I didn't have any clue.
If you have any answer, please go ahead and put in the chat. You know, I've been asked that earlier.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting to.
Yeah.
What do you think?
But maybe we can see it in the video. No, but it was something that it was really wow. Usually, what you have at the gate is people that is going to be there.
The doorkeepers.
The doorkeepers, who are going to be in charge of the control of
Kind of guards.
Yeah, something like that. Who can go in, who can go out, and everything.
So they have a standing place.
Yeah. Maybe where they can rest or they can be, and maybe they need to be in different.
And you know what coming to my heart is that in different places in the scripture, it is written about the elders and the wise men sitting on the gate of the city.
Yeah.
So it could be that maybe those are the places when they are going to be gathered, the wise men, in order to discuss important matters.
It could be.
So maybe it's and Karen is saying something similar. This place of judgment is in the gates. Yes. Judgment is balanced. Good. So let's continue. Where we are?
Here?
Yes, in the 11. And he measured the width of the entrance of the gate, 10 cubits, and the length of the gate, 13 cubits, and the border in front of the little rooms, 1 cubit on this side and 1 cubit on that side, and the gate room was 6 cubits on this side and 6 cubits on that side. And he measured the gate from the roof of one little room to the roof of the other. The width was 25 cubits, door to door. It's big.
Yeah.
And he measured the posts 60 cubits high, even to the posts of the courtyard, all around the gate. And from the front of the entrance gate to the front of the porch of the inner gate was 50 cubits. And there were narrowed window frames in the little rooms, and to their posts at the inside of the gate all around, and for the porches too. And there were windows all around on the inside, and on each post were palm trees. Did you manage to find, or you were wondering about the palm trees, right?
Yeah, why palm trees? Because in the previous buildings or in the previous work that was already made, it was always mentioning maybe pomegranates, but it was never mentioned the palm trees. So it was calling my attention. Why?
Yeah. This is interesting.
Maybe it's an upgrade. What the palm trees providing, maybe the shadow, maybe the fruits that the dates. No, how do you call it? Dates.
So he's looking in his vision everything related to this massive wall from the outside. He's going into the eastern gate, looking at, everything that is being built on all the measurements. And through that eastern gate, he's getting into the outer courtyard. And this is exactly what he's going to describe now in the verse 17. And he brought me into the outer courtyard, and look, rooms and a pavement made all around the courtyard, 30 rooms on the pavement. And the pavement was by the side of the gates, equal to the length of the gates, the lower pavement. And he measured the width from the front of the lower gate to the front of the inner courtyard on the outside, 100 cubits toward the east and the north. So it's a very broad space, what he's looking into the outer courtyard. And the gate of the outer courtyard facing north, he measured its length and its width, and its little rooms, 3 on this side and 3 on that side. Its posts and its porches had the same measurements as the first gate. Its length was 50 cubits and its width 25 cubits. And its windows and its porches and its palm trees had the same measurement as the gate facing east, and they went up to it by 7 steps, and its porch was in front of it, and the gate of the inner courtyard was opposite the northern gate. And at the eastern gate, and he measured from gate to gate 100 cubits. And he took me toward the south, and look, a gate toward the south, and he measured its posts and porches according to these measurements, and windows were in it, and its porches all around like those windows. Its length was 50 cubits and its width 25 cubits. And what's interesting is that when we think in our bodies,
we have certain organs that are having
in
some
different pieces,
kind.
but we have this symmetry somehow. If we cut ourselves in half from the top to the bottom, it's like we have the symmetry.
Yeah, like the lungs and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing we see happening here with the gates, and going into like these Russian dolls, going into
One inside of
inner
the-
chambers is like containing from the outer to the inside, but with the same shapes and somehow with connections. Wow, that's interesting. We have gates that are being,
They need to open and close.
but they are somehow aligned.
Yeah.
The outer gate, the eastern gate, is also connected somehow in line with the inside eastern gate. And the same is happening with the rest. It's like, if you want to go into the most inner place, you are going to go straight forward, depending on what gate you are going to use. So you have different gates, but all of them being connected from the outside in the same direction, in the same line, being aligned somehow with the inner gates. It's like being, we can say, a profound, that a deep gate. If we imagine in our mindset that it's basically a kind of a tunnel with different places, one outside and the other inside. So I do believe that, in the way that he created us, is in a very similar pattern, shape, that we see the description of the temple here. And there are different places, in the same way that we have in our bodies different places that they have different functions. Before we continue, in one moment was mentioned that there were 30 rooms. And when I was reading this, I remember the words of Mashiach. And let's go there in the chapter 14 of the book of John. And I think this is a beautiful picture, and we will see even more as we continue in the coming chapters in the book of Ezekiel. It says in the verse 1 of the chapter 14 of the book of YaHuWaH. Let not your heart be troubled. Believe in Elohim, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many staying places, many rooms. And if not, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I shall come again and receive you to myself, and that where I am, you might be too. So we can see even in the description of the temple, we have different places, different rooms, even by the gate. So I do believe, and I know that you have some passages prepared, and I think all of them are somehow connected. I do believe that Yahushua was referring exactly to that place. We'll see that, all this, the first thing that Ezekiel saw, as we just read in the first few verses, when he was standing in this high mountain, he looked to the south and he saw the structure like a city. And inside this structure as a city, he was brought in the city and he received the revelation and the measurements of the temple. So as we will see in a few chapters from now, that city is going to be in a special place. And in that special place is going to be led and ruled by Mashiach. And in that special place, we will see rooms. And these are exactly the rooms that Mashiach was telling the disciples, as is written here in the screen. Those are the places that he was going to the Shemaim to prepare for each one of us. And that's a wonderful picture. That's why, one of the interpretations that maybe what we are reading now in the book of Ezekiel is the New Jerusalem that is going to come down from heaven in order to be established here on earth. And in that city is where we want to live. In that city is where we will find the rooms that Yahushua is preparing for each one of us. It's true that we are building and we have a project in the south of our country. Unfortunately, we have not been able to continue that much. This has been a very complicated year in terms of time and schedule. But, we began this project with all the desire of our hearts, preparing all the place. It's half done. It's a lot of things to do. But we put a lot of love and dedication to everything we have been doing so far. And even though that, it's a beautiful project and we love what we are doing, and the picture we have in our minds of how it's going to be the end product is beautiful, I rather prefer it to be in one of those rooms. Yeah. Because the picture that we see being described in the word of YaHuWaH are not comparable at all to anything man can do here in this earth. Not even the best builder, not even Herod the Great, that everybody believes that he built an amazing and a great temple, and maybe no doubt, maybe he did it, maybe he was a great builder. But there's no comparison at all to what we are going to be able to see with our eyes if we are faithful in the path till the end. So, using the same analogy, we have put all our hearts and our desire when we were building the place our project in our property. Just imagine the desire in the heart of Yahushua when he said this, I'm going to prepare a place. Yeah. Maybe he's taking the hammer and taking some nails and doing something, and he's building the place, the bridegroom preparing a place for the bride.
Every time that he is removing something that doesn't belong to us, that we are struggling with that, he's preparing us to fit perfectly in that place. And sometimes that process is going to be really painful, but we need to go through that process.
And it's the same place, in the same way, the dedication of the heart of Yahushua to create this place. Every time that we put our heart in something and we do it with joy, with love, with dedication. Even sometimes we struggle or we complain. I complain a lot, and you can ask Lillian when I'm building. But even we are doing with dedication, with the heart. Just imagine Yahushua doing that with all his love. Maybe he's not complaining, though maybe he complained when we failed, but he's looking at us with love and with compassionate eyes, understanding that in this body and in this world we struggle all the time, because he experienced this as well in the flesh. So that's why he's able to be so compassionate, because he can understand, he can relate to our struggles. So, but he's putting all this heart and all this dedication to prepare the place, and he he's expecting to receive each one of us. You know, it's like when you are preparing a feast and you are inviting people to come to your home, and sometimes they tell you, yeah, they will come, but they don't show up. Or you are inviting people to your home to enjoy the feast you have prepared for each one of them, and they reject and they say, no, I have something else. And we have a parable that Yahushua was speaking about that. You know, beside putting his heart on preparing a place for each one of us, he's expecting us. He's expecting that we are going to join. He's expecting that we are going to receive the invitation and accept the invitation. He's expecting that we are going to show up. So everything he has been preparing for each one of us throughout so long, for us, even though that for him is not that been so long, that is going to be the moment that his heart is going to be complete and full of joy and love. When we think on these things, and we should try to think in this type of things more often, is when we are able to do what this messenger, this man, instructed Ezekiel, is to set our heart to the right things. Just to remember Yahushua preparing a place for us in his own city, in his own place. Who are we that we have been chosen to receive an invitation? Sometimes we don't even deserve that invitation. How much love and compassion he has in his heart, that he saw us and he said, I'm going to give you, a pass. This is the invite. This is the QR code you need. With this one, with this pass, you are going to be able to enter through the gate. And we need to recognize and we need to remember as well that even though that maybe he gave us that pass, that's not giving us the full certainty that we are going to be able to get in. Why I'm saying this? Because even though that we have the pass, we can lose it. And also, even if we save it and we keep it in our secret pocket, so nobody's going to be able to take it from us, we need to get into the gate, into the city. We need to walk the way until we get into the place. And when we get into the place, we're going to be able to take the ticket and show the pass. I received the invitation from the owner of this place. So Yes, He gave us the pass. Now it's up to us to decide to keep it in a secret place, to save it as our lives depend on it, and it does. But also to do the effort to get till the end, to get into that gate, so we're going to be able to get in. Something you want to share?
I want to have the pass.
You have it already.
And not misplace it.
Your time.
Okay, and 7 steps led up to it, and its porch was in front of them, and it had palm trees on its posts, one on this side and one on that side. Sorry, I'm going to, just because I remember. And also the palm tree is one of the trees that has the really deep roots, because it needs water. And even though the environment is really dry, it's going to spread its root all necessary to arrive to the fountain of water. So that's something really interesting too. And the inner courtyard had a gate toward the south, and he measured from gate to gate toward the south 100 cubits. And he brought me to the inner courtyard through the south gate, and he measured the southern gate according to these measurements. And its little rooms, and its posts, and its porches were according to these measurements, and windows were in it, and in its porches all around, 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. And there were porches all around, 25 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. And its porches were toward the outer courtyard, and palm trees were on its posts. And 8 steps led up to it. And he brought me into the inner courtyard, toward the east, and he measured the gate according to these measurements.
Interesting. In the previous one was only 7 steps, and now it's 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that it was 8. No?
Really?
So?
I remember I read 7.
Yeah? Okay.
But anyways.
Yeah.
32.
And its little rooms and its posts and its porches were according to these measurements, and windows were in it, and its porches all around, 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. And its porches were toward the outer courtyard, and palm trees were on its posts, on this side and on that side, and 8 steps led up to it. And he brought me to the north gate, and he measured it according to these measurements, its little room, its posts, and its porches, and it had windows all around. Its length was 50 cubits, and its width 25 cubits. And its posts were toward the outer courtyard, and palm trees were on its post, on this side and on that side, and 8 steps led up to it. And there was a room with its entrance by the post of the gate, where they washed the ascending offering. And the porch of the gates were 2 tables and in the porch of the gates were 2 tables on this side and 2 tables on that side, on which to slay the ascending offering and the sin offering and the guilt offering. And on the other side, as one went up to the entrance of the north gate, were 2 tables, and on the other side of the porch of the gates were 2 tables. 4 tables were on this side and 4 tables on that side, by the side of the gate, 8 tables on which they slew. And there were 4 tables of hewn stone for the ascending offering, 1 cubit and a half long, 1 cubit and a half wide, and 1 cubit high. On these they placed the instrument with which they slew the ascending offering and the slaughtering. And the double hooks, and handbreadth wide, were fastened all around, and all the tables was and on the tables was the flesh of the offerings. And on the outside of the inner gates were the rooms for the singers in the inner courtyard, one at the side of the north gate and facing south, and the other at the side of the south gate facing north. And he said to me, "This room facing south is for the priest who guards the duty of the house, and the room facing north is for the priests who guard the duty of the slaughter place. They are the son of Zadok, from the sons of Levi, who come near YaHuWaH to serve him." And he measured the courtyard, 100 cubits long and 100 cubits wide, a square. And the slaughter place was in front of the house. And he brought me to the porch of the house and measured the doorposts of the porch, 5 cubits on this side and 5 cubits on that side. And the width of the gate was 3 cubits on this side and 3 cubits on that side. The length of the porch was 20 cubits, and the width 11 cubits. And by the steps which led up to it, there were columns by the doorpost, one on this side and one on that side.
Good.
Something?
No.
Because I have a question. Because
ahead.
it says something about the singers, and then is talking I don't know if it's referring that the priests are also the singers, are the same, or two different groups.
I think there are different group of peoples. Actually, when we look into the book of Chronicles, when it's talking about the service in the temple, it's talking about the doorkeepers, the singers. It's talking about the ones that are doing the offerings, the priests. We are not looking into the Levites here as well. The Levites are the attendants. So there are multiple roles and different places for each one of them.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? So I think they're not the same.
No, okay.
Let me show you this video.
The video, because it's good.
So somehow to do a summary, and let me do something first. Just give me a second. Okay, so
we're going to see.
Yeah, we are going to show you a video we found that somehow is an interpretation, is a visual interpretation, a 3D animation of the temple, what is written in the chapter 40 of the book of Ezekiel, the one we just read. So let me share the screen. And please let me know in the chat if this is coming with sound, so just to make sure that you are able to see and hear properly. Okay, so here it is.
Sí, porque no había música.
Okay. So, yeah, I fully agree with you. It took a good amount of time to do that job. I'm going to share with you the link here in the chat because you know this person. This is a video of 13 years ago, so I cannot imagine, you know, with all these new tools that we have today, what they are, you know, people experts are able to do now in order to try to see in a visual way the description of the temple. And you know, I think in the same channel you will find another the visuals of the other chapters. Yes, the other chapters, in case you want to take a look. Okay, just making sure that everything is okay. Yes. Okay, so let's move on to the chapter 41. And just seeing, yes, okay. So chapter 41, verse 1, it says the following. And he brought me into the Hechal, and he measured the doorposts 6 cubits wide on one side, and 6 cubits wide on the other side, the width of the tent. And the entrance was 10 cubits wide. And the side walls of the entrance were 5 cubits on this side and 5 cubits on the other side. And he measured its length 40 cubits and 20 cubits wide. And he went inside and measured the doorposts 2 cubits, and the entrance 6 cubits high, and the width of the entrance 7 cubits. And he measured the length 20 cubits and the width 20 cubits to the front of the Hechal. And he said to me, "This is the most set apart place." You know, one thing to mention, and it's not completely clear to me, is that in the previous chapter and in this chapter is using the word house and Hechal in different ways. what we were analyzing with Lillian is that the Hechal is the temple itself. It's basically when if you imagine the tabernacle, you have all these outer walls. When you get into the courtyard and you see, the basin for the water and the slaughter place of the courtyard, and then you have the tent. And in order to go to the tent, there is a first door, and you go into the most set apart place, and you have the menorah, the golden slaughter place for the incense, and also you have the table for the bread.
Yeah.
And then you have the veil, and then the most set apart place, the Kodesh HaKodeshim, and so on with the Ark of the Covenant. So the Hechal is like, in our current understanding, the Hechal is like the tent. And when it's talking about the house, it's the entire tabernacle, including the courtyard and also the walls that are in the outside. So when he's speaking about the house, it's basically all the inner courtyard plus the Hechal, and the Hechal is just the temple. It's basically where is the most apart place and also the set apart place. That's our current understanding, okay? So when he saw the Hechal and was in the inner courtyard, the man said to Ezekiel in the vision, this is the most set apart place. And the verse 5, it said, and he measured the wall of the house 6 cubits, and the width of each side room all around the house was 4 cubits on every side. And the side rooms were on 3 levels, one above the other, 30 rooms on each level. So 30, 90. Because 3 levels, one on top of the other.
Yeah.
They rested on ledges, which were for the side rooms all around, to be supported, but not fastened to the wall of the house. And there was a broadening and widening upwards for the side rooms, for the winding around the house went up like steps. I think it's like a stair.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. And the width of the structure increased as one went up from the lowest level to the highest by way of the middle one. And I saw the height all around the house, the foundation of the side rooms, a rough length of 6 cubits. The thickness of the outer wall of the side rooms was 5 cubits, and that which was left between the side rooms of the house. And the rooms was a width of 20 cubits all around the house on every side. Again, what impressed me is the massive walls. They're very thick walls. It's a very
like a very solid structure.
Solid structure. I remember some of our trips to Israel when we see these huge, massive rocks. It's something like that, even bigger.
Yeah.
How it's going to be built? Interesting. Where I am?
I think that you read the 11th.
11? Yes. And the building that was in front of the separate place at the side toward the west was 70 cubits wide, and the wall of the building was 5 cubits thick all around, and its length 90 cubits. Then he measured the house 100 cubits long, and the separate place with the building and its walls were 100 cubits long. And the width of the front of the house and of the separate place eastward was 100 cubits. So it's like a square.
Yeah.
You continue.
Okay. And he measured the length of the building to the front of the separate place behind it, and its galleries on the one side and on the other side, 100 cubits, as well as the inner hechal and the porches of the courtyard. The doorposts and the narrowed window frames and the galleries all around, their three-level opposites, the threshold, were paneled with wood, from the ground to the windows, and the windows were covered, from the space above the door, even to the inner house, as well as outside, and on every wall all around, inside and outside, by measure. And it was made with cherubim and palm trees, and a palm tree between cherub and cherub. A cherub had two faces, so that the face of the man was toward the palm tree on one side, and the face of a young lion toward a palm tree on the other side, made on all the house all around, from the floor to the space above the door, and all the wall of the Hechal, cherubim and palm trees were carved. The doorposts of the Hechal were square, and the front of the set-apart place, the appearance of one was like the appearance of the other. The slaughter place was of wood, 3 cubits high, and its length 2 cubits, and its corners and its length and its sides were of wood. And he said to me, This is the table that is before YaHuWaH. And the Hechal of the set-apart place had 2 doors, and each of the doors had 2 panels, 2 folding panels, 2 panels for one door and 2 panels for the other door. And cherubim and palm trees were carved on the doors of the Hechal, like those carved on the wall, and thick wood was on the front of the porch outside. And narrowed window frames and palm trees were on one side and on the other, on the sides of the porch, and on the side rooms of the house, and thick wood.
Can you imagine the whole structure? Because what I have in my mind is that the limestone that is in the land of Israel is a white stone. So the entire building is a white one.
Yeah.
You know, with the light of the sun.
Yeah.
It's like shiny.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful, beautiful picture. And there's nothing mentioned so far about gold,
No.
nor metals,
No,
nor the precious stones.
It's talking
Nothing
about
at all.
wood and stone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So something I wanted to share is what is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 21. So somehow is connected from my point of view to what we have been reading in these 2 chapters of Ezekiel. So let's read it. I think it's a good reading from the very beginning. It says, And I saw a renewed heaven and a renewed earth. For the former heaven and the former earth had passed away, and the sea is no more. And I, Yohanan or Yon, saw the set-apart city, renewed Jerusalem, coming down out of the heaven from Elohim, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the heaven saying, See, the booth of Elohim is with men, and he shall dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Elohim himself shall be with them and be their Elohim. And Elohim shall wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, nor mourning, nor crying, and there shall be no more pain, for the former matters have passed away. And he who was sitting on the throne said, See, I make all matters new. And he said to me, Write, for these words are true and trustworthy. And he said to me, It is done. I am the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end. To the one who thirsts, I shall give of the fountain of the water of life without payment. The one who overcomes shall inherit all this, and I shall be his Elohim, and he shall be my son. But as for the cowardly and untrustworthy and abominable and murderers and those who whore and drug sorcerers and idolaters and all the false, their part is in the lake which burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death. And one of the 7 messengers who held the 7 bowls filled with the 7 last plagues came to me and spoke with me, saying, Come, I shall show you the bride, the Lamb's wife. And listen to this, and he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain.
Almost the same.
It's almost the same as we were reading in the chapter 40 of the book of Ezekiel. And showed me the great city. Again, he's looking into, the structure like a city, in the case of Ezekiel. The set apart Jerusalem, descending out of the heaven from Elohim. having the esteem of Elohim, and her life was like a most precious stone, like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and having a great and high wall, having 12 gates, and at the gates 12 messengers, and names written on them, which are those of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. 3 gates on the east, 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, and 3 gates on the west. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the names of the 12 emissaries of the Lamb. And he who spoke with me had a golden measuring rod to measure the city, and its gates, and its wall. And the city lies 4 corners, and its length is as great as its breadth. So it's a square.
Yeah.
And he measured the city with the rod, 12,000 stadia. The length and the breadth and height of it are equal. So that's why so many people believe it's a cube.
Mm-hmm.
Once I remember I heard the theory that the other structure that also can have the same height is a pyramid.
Mm.
And
Because it's
it
also
could be.
the base is a square. Yeah.
Exactly, could be. So this is a massive
Yeah.
thing. It's 2.2 thousand kilometers,
Yeah.
or 1.3 thousand miles. And it's interesting because when we take a look in the space that we will see in the chapter 45, I think, where the city is going to be established, is exactly the same measurement. You remember you were doing the calculation?
Yeah, I was doing that. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
the same. So we're going to keep it till there. So basically what we see John being revealed by the messenger is a kind of the same type of revelation that Ezekiel received. Standing on a high mountain, looking to the south, seeing a great city, in this case with the more gates than the ones that Ezekiel saw, but the whole experience in the way that it's being described by Ezekiel and in the same way that it's being described by John is quite similar. So that's why maybe it could be what Ezekiel saw is the same thing that John saw, or maybe is the pattern, and what Ezekiel saw is going to be the temple during the millennial, and this one is going to be the final one, is Elohim, the booth of Elohim dwelling with men. What else?
I wanted to share the two because I was thinking, well, and you were telling me how it's going to be constructed. What could be the material? And if we can go to YaHuWaH or Isaiah 56, 4 and 5.
There you have.
And it says, "For thus said YaHuWaH, to the eunuchs who guard my Shabbats and have chosen what pleases me and are holding on to my covenant, to them I shall give in my house and within my walls a place and a name better than that of sons and daughters. I give them an everlasting name that is not cut off." So he's telling us, even to the eunuchs, even to someone who is saying, I'm not worthy at all, what is my purpose and everything, but if we keep the Shabbat, he's going to give us an entrance. We're going to be inside of that house. And then what it says in Revelation 3:12. Revelation of Hasson. "He who overcomes, I shall make him a supporting post in the dwelling place of my Elohim, and he shall by no means go out. And I shall write on him the name of my Elohim and the name of the city of my Elohim, the renewed Jerusalem, which come down out of the heavens from my Elohim and my renewed name." And that is the beautiful promise that Yahushua was making. And he was also speaking that we are like stones. And when a stone is not worthy to be in one place, it needs to be replaced. We have to do everything possible that we be one of those stones, being part of that building, being part of the house of YaHuWaH.
And we have this additional one. It says, drawing near to him, a living stone, rejected indeed by man, but chosen by Elohim and precious. You also, as living stones, are being built up, a spiritual house, a set-apart priesthood, to offer up spiritual slaughter offerings acceptable to Elohim through YaHuWaH, Messiah. So we are part, the temple, the spiritual temple in this time, but we put together all these passages together, the one in Isaiah, the one in Revelation, and this one in Kepha, 1 Peter. Basically, we can see that we have even part of the promises of this great invitation that YaHuWaH has put in front of us as a free invitation, a free pass, is that we are going to be part of the building. We are going to become posts. We are going to be part of the structure. And this is so beautifully put somehow when we think on this, is that YaHuWaH, Elohim, put so much care when he created us. It is written in the book of Genesis, Bereshit, that he created man from the dust of the soil. So just put in your mind that when you are playing with mud, and then you can create some shapes and so on, that maybe this is exactly what he did it. It's basically to put all together and to create this shape of the body of Adam, and then to give him life. And most probably he put, in the same way that I was saying before, this care, this love, this attention on creating this body from the dust. And we cannot deny at all that YaHuWaH is so focused on the small details. We just saw, all these great descriptions of measurements, distance, and so on, and what was revealed to Ezekiel. Just think on what happened with Noah. He gave, all the instructions of Noah to build a boat, something that nobody was able to see before. They didn't know what he was building, because they didn't know, about ships, navigating the waters.
No, I think that they knew, but maybe smaller, smaller scale. Not this big.
In this big scale, not at all.
Yeah, that's true.
So he gave all the instructions to Noah on how to do it. The same thing with Moshe, Moses. He gave all the patterns, actually the visuals, because he said you need to take note exactly in the same shape of what you saw. Yeah. You need to do it. And I imagine Moshe just drawing everything, and maybe just taking the measurements as well, because he needed to know actually YaHuWaH was giving him the measurements as well. But he was drawing just to make sure that he was taking the design exactly as he saw it. So making just the sketch based on what he was seeing with his spiritual eyes. So YaHuWaH is always so attentive into the small details. He's a great designer and a great architect and a great builder. So he did it in the same way when he was forming Adam from the dust of the soil. But at that moment, Adam was part of the earth as well. So what I was trying to say is that us being part of the building, we are in the same way that it happened at the beginning. Adam being taken from the dust of the soil, is part of the entire wheel, let's say, of creation. So it's exactly the same thing. We, as I have been telling you and sharing with you from some time already, a city is like a body. The physical walls it's like the body. But we, the people, are the ones like the spirit, because the body without the spirit is death. A city without people living in them is death. So at the end, we are going to be part of the city. We are going to be part of the structure. We are all together are going to be the one, like the spirits coming to the body in order to give it life, we are going to be the one coming into the city, giving the city life. And not only life, giving light together with Mashiach, who is going to be the light of the nations, the light of the world, shining from that place to the entire world. So I think it's a beautiful picture, not an easy
Yeah.
image to think, but I like the mystery.
But Abba help us once more.
Yeah, and I like the mystery because we try to see and to imagine how the city it is, but I do believe that when the moment comes and we are going to be able to see it with our eyes, we are going to be so amazed to what we're going to see that sometimes it's better to have the mystery, because in that way we are going to be with this feeling in our hearts of this wow moment.
That we want to
I wasn't able to imagine what I'm seeing. Even by the description, I know that it was going to be perfect
Yeah.
and so amazing and so huge, but I was not even able, my mind was so small to be able to conceive what I'm able to see now. And I'm wondering, and I'm actually more than wondering, I'm waiting and expecting for that moment, because in the same way that the disciples of Mashiach were so amazed when they saw these huge walls and huge buildings, and they were telling Mashiach about that. And what Mashiach said, none stone will be remain upon stones. All of this is going to be destroyed. They were amazed with everything that was built back then. Just imagine how amazed we are going to be at the moment we see this amazing construction and this amazing city, this amazing temple, that the only one that is going to be able to build it is YaHuWaH. And I hope that we are going to be able to participate in this construction. Believe me, I like to build. It would be amazing to be part of, of the team helping Mashiach in the same way that everybody participated, helping Nehemiah and Zerubbabel to build the second temple, and Ezra as well. Can you imagine that he's regathering each one of us and taking us back to the land of Israel, and we all together, somehow, I don't know how, but somehow we participate in the rebuilding of this amazing structure and the rebuilding and the restoration of the place that YaHuWaH has given us to his people, to the entire house of Israel as an inheritance. That would be an amazing time and an amazing blessing if it's happened like that. And if we don't participate, even though it's going to be a tremendous blessing to be able to receive, the gatekeeper and tell us, show me your pass, here is, okay. You are able to come.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Anything else from your side? Finish? No?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah.
So, good. So having said that, as always, thank you so much for joining us and for being with us there and for being our family in YaHuWaH. And we wait for that moment that we are going to be all together, not entering into the gates one by one. We just saw that the gates are massive gates. So maybe we can enter as a group all together in order to inherit the promises that YaHuWaH has given each one of us. We are going to put a banner that it will say Light to the Nations. And maybe Lillian will, like, any tour guide, we are going to be with the banner Light to the Nations. So if you want to join us, at the moment we get in, you are more than welcome to come with us and to enjoy together that amazing time that all of us were expecting. So thank you so much for your love, your support, your prayers. Keep praying for one another.
Please.
It's so important that in this time we have the strength of the Spirit of Elohim working in each one of us, and we have the indwelling of the Ruach of Elohim. That is going to be the only way that we are going to be able to endure until the end and to fulfill our task and our duties in order to bring the message to this world and to bring the light of YaHuWaH into this world. We need to be those faithful servants, and as I have been telling you, we need to be those good instruments that are being tuned in to the frequencies of YaHuWaH, so we are going to be able to produce the sound and the music that YaHuWaH wants to bring into this world. And how we are going to be able to produce the sound is exactly with this, with the vibration that He has built in our bodies, and with the heart, with the emotions, in order to bring the spiritual, vibrations and the manifestation of the Ruach of Elohim to anybody that we are able to interact, and to bring the truth. We need to contend for the truth. This is the time to do it, and to bring the manifestation of the Ruach of Elohim in everything we do, and through our voice and our actions. So thank you so much. YaHuWaH be with you all. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And we hope in YaHuWaH that we're going to be able to see you next week.
Yeah.
Having said that, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
אדוני רואי לא אחסר בינות דשא ירביצני אדוני רואי לא אחסר על מי מנוחות ינעלני נפשי ישובב ינחני במעגל צדק ינחני במעגל צדק למען שמו נפשי ישובב ינחני במעגל צדק ינחני במעגל צדק למען שמו אדוני רואי לא אחסר בינות דשא ירביצני אדוני רואי לא אחסר על מי מנוחות ינעלני נפשי ישובב ינחני במעגל צדק ינחני במעגל צדק למען שמו נפשי ישובב ינחני